name is Josh. I'm originally from upstate New York. When I was 13, my mom sat me down and told me the story of my real father and who he was and that he was going to be in New York and I was going to have an opportunity to meet him if I wanted to. And I said yes. And that week that I was supposed to meet him, he was killed. I started chasing and filling holes that were left by not having a dad, and then by having a dad who with this legacy of partying and all these things, and kind of feeling like I needed to live up to that, or that was my fate. That was the way he was, and that's the way I'm gonna be. And so I started filling my life with all sorts of drugs and alcohol, and I was probably on a path to end up just like my dad, dead at a young age. And an opportunity came up from work that allowed me to transfer to Illinois. It was my escape. It was this is my chance to start over. And it didn't take long for the old habits of home and for new bad relationships to be built. And then when I was 24, my grandfather, who was kind of the closest thing to a father I've ever had, just a great man that I love very much, had cancer, and I got a call from my mom that if I ever wanted to talk to my grandfather again, that I needed to call him now. I called the hospital, and my grandmother said that he couldn't talk to me, but he could hear. And so she put the phone up to his ear, and I said some things. Honestly, I don't remember what they were because I had just got done smoking pot. And then I immediately packed my bags and I drove to New York. I drove all night to get to him, and I missed him by 5 minutes, and he was gone. And afterwards, my brother and I went to this spot on top of a mountain to smoke some pot and kind of numb our pain. And in the process, I had a panic attack and just had this realization that I had taken the last conversation that I ever had with my grandfather, and I missed it because I was high. When I got back home to Illinois, I said I need to find a church. And so that Sunday I went and started attending a church. And 3 months later, in the church bulletin, there was an opportunity to join the church staff as a janitor. And part of me wanted no part of being a janitor, but I just decided that my life really needed a change, and I needed just to get out of so many of the things that I had built for myself that were not healthy or helpful. Even though I moved to get away from all of the things that were hindering me and holding me back and holding me down in New York, I found them again in Illinois. So I relocated, but I really didn't have a relocation in my heart. When I made the decision to leave my job and take the janitor role at the church, he used it for him and to bring me closer to him and to bring me into a knowing relationship with him so that he could father me, so that he could fill in that gap and bring some people along to father me by committee and fill in that gap and those holes and those longings, that desire that I had had for so long in my life.